Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle and I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. We are doing a video of overnight sales on Poshmark and eBay. So I have I have 4 Poshmark sales and 3 eBay sales to show you, overnight sales. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it with no rhyme or reason. The first thing that I sold on Poshmark were 2 bras. I took a $40 offer. I, for the most part, list my bras at $25 each. These particular bras are $67 on the website. And I probably could have got a little more, but just in order to move things out. Bras, if you are going to be a bra reseller, larger sizes do best. These are 46H. And they are like new. They are wireless. They are by Lane Bryant Cacique. And she bundled both of them, and I sent her a $40 offer, which was fine. I pay this much for each of my items, and there was still profit to be made, so that's why I took it. I think gross pay was like $238. I will put it here. I use my calculator, which I always say, but if you're new here, I use my calculator every time I make a sale. I used to be very OCD. I'm no longer OCD. Used to be OCD where every time that I would sell something, since I work at home, I mean, obviously I'm not thrifting at home. I got to thrift, I got to leave the house, and that's part of my job, thrifting and finding great things to resell. But primarily I'm at home taking pictures, editing, you know, washing, spot treating, steaming, all that type of stuff. The behind the scenes type of stuff. Where was I going with this? I no longer have OCD, but I do still have ADHD. Bow. So I don't even know where I was going with that. Okay, let's just carry on. So I took a $40 offer. If it comes back to me, guys. So for $39, so the 2 bras for $40, gross pay. I think that's what I was trying to say. It's gross pay. The other sale were these jeans, and I took a $39 offer on Poshmark, and they are Not Your Daughter's Addison jeans. I just picked these full-length jeans up about 2 weeks ago, and I found like 10 pairs, but the majority of them were crop length, not full length. And obviously full length is always going to do better. I thought maybe crop length or like a capri length would do better with the summer months ahead, but I guess not. So these are Addison size 18. I do believe that these Not Your Daughter's jeans retail for $98, and I do kind of list them for $50. Half price, right? Half price. Especially if they, I mean, these still have this seam going down. I think they were previously dry cleaned. And when I purchase things that are, if they have a dry cleaner tag on them, I'm not ripping off the tag and washing them, because my washer likes to eat clothes. And so something has to smell a certain way or be dirty or visible signs of dirt. Otherwise, I'm leaving it up to the buyer to wash things. And I'm going to assume that whether I wash or not, the buyer's still washing it. But I do want things to, you know, appear nice and clean and fresh to the person. Just because it's secondhand, you know, you don't want to just, you know, roll it up any old way. And I have received, I've bought stuff online before on eBay and Posh and received it like this. In fact, the funniest tale is I brought a dress. It was an Old Navy dress, and she rolled it up like a football shape, and she put it in a Walmart plastic bag, taped it all up, clear tape completely, so that the sack was in the shape of a football. When I got it, I had no idea what it was, because now you have to remove the tape. The Walmart plastic bags are super thin. You don't want to cut into the tape and cut the dress up. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. So yes, I want someone to get an experience, and maybe that sets me, I know a lot of people do that, so I don't want to say it sets me apart from other resellers and diss other resellers, but I enjoy it, giving people that extra presentation. So however it is wrapped, I like to add stickers. I like to add a thank you card. If I have ribbon handy, I like to add ribbon to make it an experience, because it's the little things. It's the little things. Getting a package in the mail, you know, takes you back when you had grandparents sending you like a card that may or may not have money in it, or like that birthday card or present from an aunt or something. It always just brightened up your day. And I think that is the beauty of buying secondhand, or buying anything really online, is you're getting like a gift that you paid for, but nonetheless it feels kind of giftish. And so I can't be alone here. So yes, those sold for $39. Not Your Daughter's jeans, plus size 18, and they were in the Addison style. If you are picking up Not Your Daughter's jeans, the Maryland style is actually the most popular. It's a full length dark denim, and it's called the Maryland jean. So FYI. Okay, so the next thing on Poshmark that sold for $22, I had it listed for $25. I use Posher VA that generally does the discounts for me, so I don't have to, you know, go in there and spend time. My time is primarily spent sourcing and listing. Sourcing and listing. I mean, obviously wrapping, but I don't put a lot of time with going back and bartering. That's where Posher VA comes in, where it sends them offers, and now Vendu is able to do that as well. So that is, this little bra is by Soma. It's my #1 selling bra, and it is a racer back front clasp in size 38D. And again, flawless. And these bras cost a lot. I'm not sure. There is not much fabric in a bra, but bras cost just as much as a pair of blue jeans. So go figure. So I listed that for $25 last week, and I took a $22 offer. My Posher VA sent an offer, and of course I accepted. All right, again, Poshmark. The next thing on Poshmark is I do sell costume jewelry, buy one, get one free on Poshmark. I list them basically all for $15. So they're all buy one, get one free, so $7.50 each. And someone came and bundled this little Paris Eiffel Tower gunmetal. Can we see that? Oh, I'm sitting in front of my window. My apologies if you couldn't see that. I'm looking at that. Hopefully you could see that. So this is just a little Eiffel Tower gunmetal necklace. And her freebie are these silver 2-inch, I would say 2-inch hoops with these little, they kind of remind me of those little charms on Pandora bracelets. So she got them $15. All right, so now let's hop into the eBay stuff. 1, 2, 3 things on eBay. Okay, so the first thing that sold on eBay is this J. Jill shirt. I had it listed for $35 and took a $27 offer. And it's J. Jill linen, size large. Normally size large doesn't do well for me, so I was pleasantly surprised that this kind of boho white, beautiful, well-made linen blouse sold. And this was listed probably, looking at all this stuff, everything that I have here was listed in the past month, except for that jewelry. That jewelry was listed at the beginning of this year. So everything is moving out. So I'm not sure if sales are picking up or not. I am going to be working on inventory this week. I started a few days ago going through every single bin, making sure everything's listed, making sure everything is flawless, clean. Okay, so the next thing that sold was another bra. And this one was $22.50 and it was listed for $30. And it is that beloved Shaper Mint that everybody talks about. There's a lot of bra brands that are popular right now. The one that I see on YouTube the most is I'm trying to watch something and the video that comes up is of a girl and she has a black bra like this and she tries to like flash the camera, but you could see that it has 2 layers. You know, completely covered, but people get sick. And I think that's just part of marketing though. People get sick of seeing the same advertisement, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, in this case, YouTube, commercials back in the day when, I mean, I haven't watched commercials in ages, but the more you're served a certain thing, like this bra, for example, I can go and find this bra, or not find this bra, I can see the advertisement for this bra so many times. Like I could see it a dozen times and still think it can't be that great. But if it's being served to me hundreds, dozens of times, eventually I will break, as will most people break, and like, is it really that good? Let me try it. Let me purchase it. And that's just how marketing works. It serves you and serves you and serves you to impulse buy things. And it serves you by constantly showing you the same thing and hearing people say how great it is. And then you have FOMO. And then, you know, I would say more times than not, people then buy it. And that's how marketing is. Back in the day, it was commercials being served to you like this new Coke Zero tastes so good. Does it? So anyways, I keep these little bags as well. I have a whole bunch of them. And whether it's shoes or pocketbooks, I have a friend who orders things and she saves these as well for me. And so this is just a little bit more luxe, this little muslin type, I don't know what kind of material it is. It's not muslin, but it's cotton, I think. But it's better than those plastic bags. So when I sell a bra, I like to slip a bra in if it's a smaller one and shoes and pocketbooks don't fit. I like to just, that looks good, right? That looks really, really nice. So I also give stickers. I'm still working through these Easter Bunny. I'm still working through these stickers. So I'm giving people, one of my daughters must have took 2. Normally I rip off a whole like 5 or 6, but obviously that one I'm not going to. But anyways, I I usually give 5 stickers, and then it's just with the seasons. Let's see, we got Memorial Day coming up, and we got 4th of July coming up, so I might get some like flag or patriotic stickers as well. So yes, that Shaper Mint bra sold, size large, sold for $22.50. I pay $2.49 for each of my bras. Platforms take a 20% commission. Actually, Poshmark takes a 20% commission if you're not promoting. eBay takes a 20% commission, but then I also promote on top of it where they're taking about a 30%. So you got to be careful that that's going to be going into your profit. I'm sharing gross right now. So when I say I paid $22.50 for this, $2.50 was the cost of the bra, which brings me down to $20, and it did sell on eBay. So 30% off of that is actually my profit. Okay, my largest sale just came about an hour ago before I started this video, and I thrifted this, I don't even think a month ago, the cutest little dog sweater a couple weeks ago, and I had it listed for $100, and someone offered me from the United Kingdom $62, which I gladly accepted. I paid $5. So again, larger sales mean larger profit, but with larger sales, they're still going to take 30% regardless. So keep that in mind. When I say 62, I paid $5, and then 30% commission went to the platform. And we've done the math before. Every now and again, I look at the numbers of what these platforms take, and I think, they're not millionaires, they're billionaires. Like, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be great to be, you know, to own a company like that? Or wouldn't it be just cheaper for me to get a brick and mortar? No, a brick and mortar, you're talking maybe, where I live, I'm going to say $2,000 a month for your mortgage or your rent of a brick and mortar. And then that is more than the rent, so to speak, that I pay to these platforms. Their commission that they take, you've got to look at it as in that's the rent that you're paying. And is that rent more than renting a brick and mortar? And you also got to take into account, if you do have a brick and mortar, are you living in an area where there's a lot of heavy traffic? Because most brick and mortars do not stand the test of time regarding secondhand. Of course, Goodwill, Salvation Army, or like community thrift stores, they've been around, they're established. But when I was a teenager, I thought my dream was I thought I was going to have a huge thrift store. I remember my mom taking me to this place in Connecticut. If I have any Connecticut viewers, specifically Torrington, Connecticut, there was a lady named Pat, and she opened up a thrift store, and she called it Pat's Pizzazz. It's actually where I brought my wedding dress. And I have just so many good memories of her. I think she had 4 or 5 kids, and you would see them playing and whatnot, but yet she was still working and still attending to their needs. And I remember being a teenager thinking, I want that. That looks fun. I want to do that. And I mean, I'm online, and when you're online selling stuff, you're reaching the whole world. I do sell international on eBay. And so would I make even what I'm making, these sales, if I had a brick and mortar? Would I have listed this, or would I have been able to sell this sweater for $62 in a brick and mortar? Of course not. Of course not. But people are online, and it's the ease of not having to leave your house or anything. And I think that's why people are willing to pay a little more. I don't fully understand that, although I'm guilty of it myself. If I go and thrift myself an Old Navy dress for $5.99, you know, enjoy it, $5.99. But if I'm online browsing and I'm looking for another Old Navy dress in that same size, I would spend $20. I would spend $20. I'm going to say, would I spend more than that? No, for that, just go to the Old Navy store. But what if that $20 dress was at my Goodwill for $20? For some reason, your brain's like, heck no, I'm not going to spend $20 for an Old Navy dress when it probably costs, you know, just double new or whatever. So I do find that always interesting about the reselling community, where people tend to they're willing to spend more online than if it was the same cost in a store. I hope I'm explaining that right. And that's just the name of the game. That is how it is. And I think it's the same thing with credit cards. I don't use credit cards for anything, but back in the day when I did, you tend to look at a credit card and say, oh, it's only $100. You know, I think I'll get 2. Thinking that, you know, that it's somehow free until you get your bill. Anyways, different tangent. So anyways, that is it, guys, today. I hope you enjoyed my overnight sale video and what has been selling for you guys lately. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.